Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Drop the Die. So I'm testing out a new headset today, the Razer Kraken 7.1 Chroma, I believe. I've been having some issues with my previous headset, and even though I love it to death, you gotta move on sometime. So let me know how the audio is on this one. But today, I thought that we would talk about character backgrounds and why they matter. 5th edition D&D has really pushed character backgrounds to a new place, where depending on the background that you choose, especially the ones that are in the book, you get different bonuses, different items for your inventory. It gives you a platform to jump off of when you're starting a character. It's a good thing, and it's also a bad thing. Now, my mentality for why it's a bad thing is because sometimes it can cripple players into thinking that they have to fill the role that is put for them in the book. I'm a soldier, so clearly I'm a soldier. These are my bonds and things like this. And they follow them to the letter, and they paint this picture of their character in only those colors. And that's a very dangerous proposition because human beings are not so linear. And your characters shouldn't be either. Think about it. You probably know multiple people who have been in the Army, Navy, Air Force, who have been in the armed services at some point. No two people come out with the same experience. The same thing is true of D&D and role-playing games. Now, when you start your character, you need to think about how the background that you've chosen and the backstory that you've given them not only affects them before they appear in the game, but throughout the progression of the game. For instance, I have seen more orphans than anything else playing tabletop RPGs. My parents were killed by pirates. My parents were killed by bandits. My parents were killed in a freak popcorn accident. There are plenty of reasons for you to be an orphan. But the issue that comes along is that people think that orphans are detached, that they don't care about, family, or they don't have any ties to any other place, and that is simply not true. Now, what I challenge each and every one of you to do is to think of a background for an orphan that involves other people, gives them a place to want to be or go back to. For instance, let's make one up together right now. So we have a young girl, let's say she's 15, maybe 16, fairly young. Her parents died wrestling alligators. Why the hell not? So her parents died wrestling alligators. How would that have changed her life? Would she have been on the street at that point? Maybe. But if the wrestling alligators, they may be from the South or maybe Creole of some kind. And that's very prevalent for me since I live in Mississippi. Louisiana's right there. I know plenty of Creoles. And normally they have pretty big, tightly knit families. So I can imagine that these orphans, or this orphan girl, who we're going to name Taj. Taj has been sent to live with an aunt somewhere, right? So she's been plucked away from her home, sent to live with an aunt. How would that change her outlook on things? Well, she wouldn't be tied to her hometown after her parents died. It would be something that she wouldn't really want to go back to, my parents died here. Is there any way that we can skip going to this place in the future? Yes, I know people there, but I really don't want to go back there. There are no good memories for me. And then if they do end up going back, what would she find? Would other people be living in her home when she was a kid? How would that make her feel? Is the house run down and abandoned? How would that make her feel? Right? Take the same girl and say that both of her parents, Taj's parents, were murdered on a business trip. They're spice merchants, and they just happened to be killed. Well, Maybe she tries to live on her own. She stays in the house. And the community kind of rallies around her and tries to help her out. So now she has her tie to this place. As soon as it comes up in a quest in the future, she'll think, yes, we can go back to my home. I know people there, people we can trust. We'll be safe there. We'll get this sorted out. Right? So, one orphan, and that's just 2 small deviations. There are hundreds of thousands of different things. Maybe she got kicked out on the street, but some other orphaned kids kind of took her under their wing and she became a rogue. Maybe she went to an orphanage and the people there were very kind and helped her, even though she left later on. Maybe she loves the orphanage and always wants to go back and gives part of her money to them. Maybe they were terrible to her, beat her. Maybe she unlocked some type of sorcerer power there and burned the place down on accident and is stricken with a lot of guilt. There are thousands of different deviations for just one background. There are hundreds of combinations of backgrounds just using the book, let alone things that you can make on your own. So always think, how will my character's background, where they came from, where I started, change them throughout the story? Your character, like Razvandalka, my character in Esper the Bard's campaign, Crows in the Mist, available on YouTube. Annotation. At first, he didn't believe in curses. He didn't really believe in magic. You know, these Palagosian people, these almost Greek or Persian-inspired people, you know, they didn't have much for him. He was Romanian style. You know, family is what matters. Screw everybody else. But when he saw things with his own eyes, and when he got the feeling that this world is so much bigger than he originally thought, well, it changed him. And it should change your characters too. You don't have to have just a sack of hit points walking around that can do X or Y thing, unless, of course, that's what you like. If that's what you like, then stick with what you like. But you'll never know if you really care about a character until you put yourself in a position to do so. So, next time you get in a gaming group, sit down, plan out a character, and think, from the start, what's the thing that inspired my character to adventure? Why is adventuring a good life for them? An ex-soldier? Maybe he's got a little bit of PTSD. Being home, he's just on edge. He feels like he's going to be attacked at any moment. It's driving him crazy. He has to see action. Maybe an acolyte thinks that he's squandering away all of his years just studying tomes and answering to higher-ups. Maybe he wants to actually show the order, or whatever, that there's more out there than just that. Maybe that's why the monk left the monastery. There needs to be one certain thing in your character's life that spurs them onward to adventure. But their background should never be forgotten. It'll always change how you look at your character. And I think it'll change it in very dynamic ways that you'll really appreciate. So hopefully this can inspire some of you for backgrounds in the future. I know that as soon as I delved into backgrounds for my characters, it made the game so much more enjoyable for me personally. So hopefully it'll do the same for you. If you ever have any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, fears, remarks, cool little emoji things that you like to type out for web pages, be sure to leave them in the comments below. I'm always happy to hear them, and I love having a back and forth with everyone who watches my videos. You guys have been fantastic, and I could not ask for better viewers. I'll have links to Crows in the Mist. I think you should all give it a try. It was a lot of fun. It's on hiatus for right now, but who knows? Sometime in the near future, we may end up going back to Palagos. So let me know if you're interested in seeing any more of that. If you have any ideas for future videos, of course, let me know about that too. Pretty much hit me up, man. I'm lonely. I need your comments, bro. Come on. Hope you have a great day. Give your characters a cool backstory. It's always great. See you guys.